Is there any worse? Any
It's the
worse?
same. It's the same.
Do you see the start button down here?
I see. I see enter game.
You see enter game?
Yeah.
All right, cool, cool. Well then, I guess let's start. Good to go. Good to go.
Cool. Yep.
Hey, hi internet. So this is the Casual Nerdcast, I guess subsidiary. I'm here, Evan, with Andrew Ha.
Hello.
We're trying something new here. If you ever been to giantbomb.com, they have quick look type things. Well, they actually have quick looks, not type things. I don't know what I'm saying. But we're gonna try and do something like that. We're thinking about doing something like this. We've had a couple other ideas come down the pipeline. This is our first attempt. Anything else you want to say?
No, let's go swing that sword.
All right,
I don't
cool. So, pretty much the idea of this is we're just going to take any game and jump into it, kind of explain it. Hopefully, there's one person who's played quite a bit of it, and then another person who hasn't played it, right? So that there's some good
That's
dialogue,
me.
conversation, questions here. So today we're going to start with WildStar. It's an MMO that came out June, and it is the newest, latest, and greatest WoW killer. I just did quotation marks. So yeah, this is WildStar. I'm a nice little female thingamajigger. I can also have an octopus for a head, which is definitely a selling feature for me.
So, so explain some of the basics. So, um, like, what? First of all, like, is there like a subscription and everything?
So yes, basically the
Yeah,
way that the game works is that every single month
10 or 15.
there's a base $18 subscription fee or whatever. It's
Mm.
actually like 15, but ends up being like 16 something with taxes, blah blah blah
Oh,
in Canada.
Jesus.
Um,
Healthcare.
yeah, but the really cool thing that I'm just gonna do this because apparently it helped the quest. Yay! So one of the things that you can also do is instead of just paying the $16 every month or whatever, they've added in a system called Cred, right? So I can go on the website and I think for pretty much the same price as buying a month, I can buy cred, right? And then cred is an in-game item that can be sold on the auction house, which is your user-based marketplace, right? So theoretically,
Mm.
if you get good at this game, you could play for free. You could play it using only in-game currency. Last time I checked, so I'm level God, what level 18. 18, and I have 7 gold, 53 silver, 93 copper. Last time I checked, cred was going around for 5 platinum. 1 platinum is 100 gold, right? So
Mm.
it's not cheap. It's not cheap, but also max level's 50, so I'm sure that once I get to higher levels, I'll be gaining money a little bit faster.
Mm.
Um,
I see.
so that system is very similar to Eve, if you know that system
Yeah.
at all, where you can do similar things.
So
Um,
that and what can you do in this game? Like, what are you doing right now?
so you just saw me run around and like get a few quests. But here, let's just go over some of the basics first. So one of the biggest things in this game that they've been going crazy over is the combat. So I'm just gonna run into these things. So normally in WoW, I would target something and just keep hitting my various abilities and stuff. But in this game, you'll notice that every single time I swing my sword, there's this little blue shit that comes, and then also, the other guys, the enemies have a bunch of red stuff that they throw out, right? So what that is called is that's their telegraph system. So it's this game is incredibly action-based compared to most MMOs. The only one that I think is more action-based might be it starts with a T.
Terra?
Terra, yes.
Mm.
So basically, the way that this works is if I'm when I swing my sword, there's that line that goes up, right? So that line is kind of a countdown, right? If anything is within that area when my sword hits the end, sorry, when the line hits the end, they will get damaged. So that kind of creates this really cool action-based and dodge-based combat where I'm not gonna lie, I've actually found that past level, I don't know, 10 or so, you really have to be actually dodging out of the telegraphs, or else you will die facing even just normal mobs. Right? It's pretty difficult at some points because you get some pretty crazy telegraphs that appear, um, especially as you start getting to more and more complex monsters that you have to fight.
Mhm.
Let's see if I can go find something that's a little bit more challenging, and also just randomly keep finishing quests on the way. Because woo! Um, so that's kind of the biggest thing about WildStar. Other things are pretty standard in terms. I'm just gonna kill this thing with these guys because why not? Everything else is pretty standard in terms of MMO structure. I mean, I have a bunch of quests that you can see here on the side, right? I go through various hubs and just finish quests, move on to next hub, level up. Finish quests, move on to next hub, level up. So that's very standard. But I wasn't really expecting anything different, to be honest. I mean, that's what MMOs are. I
Mhm.
mean, you don't play as
Yeah.
many MMOs as I do, but it's one of those things where if something deviates from that too much, for example, something like Guild Wars 2, I actually kind of get annoyed, as sad as it
Yeah.
is, right? Just because, let's see if this guy has some better telegraphs so I can show you. Or,
And then, but I know that there is something there. You have your class, but you also have like a sort of.
oh god.
Ooh, you're getting wrecked there.
Yeah,
Um,
he blinded me so I couldn't see stuff, but I managed to kind of see him a little bit. Yeah, so you have your
there's like a job thing or something. Like there's like your character class, and then there's like a job sort of thing where settlers or you can go explore and that kind of stuff as well,
yeah,
don't you?
so that's your path, right? So
Mm.
I picked soldier, because I'm lame and very very normal. I don't know. I enjoy combat in MMOs. I enjoy kind of like the puzzleness aspect of it. So there's four paths that you can do. There's soldier, explorer, settler, and scientist, and each of them will give you different things that you need to go do. So if I open up my mini map right here, anytime I see that soldier icon, so for example right here, that means that
Mhm.
there's a soldier mission, and I can level up my path and I can level up my class differently, right? So if I level up my path, I get path-specific gear. So for example, that this hat that I'm wearing, right? That's a specific to soldier class because I hit like level 5 or 6 or something. I got that hat. It doesn't do anything. It just looks pretty. Um,
Oh, it's just aesthetic.
yeah, it's
It's
just
an aesthetic
aesthetic.
item.
As
Interesting.
so far, all the stuff I've gotten is aesthetic. But then there's also class abilities, right? So I have this one HP, so it restores me to full power. I must be out of combat and below 75% health to use the ability. So it's just kind of a free 100% health.
Hmm.
Um, and I also have a bailout ability, which just takes me to another safe area. To be honest, I haven't used these at all.
I think they're convenience things.
Yeah, they're just kind of for fun. Really, it's just been fun to do the little quests, right? Because they they're just fun, interesting. They're kind of a nice change, and it's also cool to have something else to level up other than your normal thing, right?
Hmm.
Which is pretty cool. So any other interesting things? One cool thing about leveling up in this game is so if you notice at the bottom here, I only have, well, right now I only have, well, there's also like my class ability, but I have 8 abilities here, right? So this one will unlock once I hit, I think, like level 20. So I only have 8 abilities, which is very different from World of Warcraft, where you have all of your abilities available to you at all times,
Yeah.
right? So I have Assault, Support, Utility here. Buy the ability, put it in a slot. So it kind of means that you have to choose your abilities carefully, right? Which is it's kind of fun. It's a nice different approach. I mean, it's not like it hasn't been done before. Guild Wars has been doing that forever. I'm a big advocate of anything Guild Wars does because that game is awesome. Well, Guild Wars 1, Guild Wars 2, not a big fan, but still.
Even though you got bored of it.
Sorry. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I got honestly that. To be fair, that was kind of a point in MMOs where everybody was just constantly looking for something different because WoW has kind of died out a little bit.
Yeah, they're only 7 million now.
Yeah, it's
So
difficult to say that because it's still a phenomenal
yeah, it
game. It's
is.
just
But
it's
that's how
not.
business works when you're
Mhm.
so.
Yeah, it's not the same. Here, I'll see if I can show you some crafting too, because actually the crafting in this.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Like, so can you do things other than fight? Like, I saw you mine earlier.
Yeah,
Do
so
you
I was
think you
just
can?
mining. So where's my? I think it's K. Yeah, I was right. So crafting's actually amazing in this game. I was really kind of surprised with how heavily it's implemented. Because in most games, you pretty much have to, choose, I'm going to do crafting now, or I'm going to do this now. Where in WildStar, it's very much, you can level up pretty much doing anything. You can even level up all the way to 50 doing crafting. Granted, it's very difficult. I'm not going to say it's easy. Um, Hopefully this doesn't take long. I'm going to take us back to the main city so that I can show you some cool crafting stuff. Uh,
Is getting to level 50, is that cumulative, or is it like this is your crafting level? This is your
yeah, it's
like
cumulative. So
battle
it's
level.
not like
Oh, interesting.
it's not like Final Fantasy in that regard. So one thing that is interesting about it, so as you can see, I'm a weaponsmith here. Everybody gets cooking. So I chose weaponsmith and mining because they complement each other really well. Um,
Hmm.
but every single crafting thing has this tech tree, right? So this tech tree is actually really cool. So there's one for each kind of level, and as you can see, novice, I didn't really do much. Well, actually, I did a lot more than I thought I did. But so, for example, here, if I want to do novice claw making, I have to craft. So to unlock this recipe, I have to craft 4 fine steel slicers, right? And then I would just go here, and then hey, here's the schematic. Load it, build 4 of them, and then I can build this nice fancy claw, right? And they've also added in a bunch of different. So here it says titanium shaper. It's one of the quests I got. So this is actually a specific quest to build. I have to build 3 of these guns, and then I get quests and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, just wanted to clarify up on something that you said. So yes, you do actually have a separate experience level for crafting as well. So like I have mining this, weaponsmith this, but this more so just unlocks different recipes and stuff like that, right? So I go from novice to apprentice, and I can craft better swords and shit like that. But
But the experience you would gain from that goes towards your level 50.
yeah, you do get experience from both, right? You,
So
you
like,
you get experience that goes towards both. Sorry, that's a better way
so
of
if
saying
I
it.
was like, I was just playing as like like going through quests and mobs, and I never touched crafting. I got to level 50. I wouldn't just have access to all the recipes. I would have to start.
No, you have to do. But why am I running? I always forget I have this.
Like, I would have to start at the bottom and
Yeah,
like do all the crafting stuff. That's okay.
yeah, it's true, which is kind of annoying. But I do honestly have to say that I find it really cool that you know, because in World of Warcraft, crafting was basically useless to do. Well, useless is a bad word. Not useless, but just annoying to do because it didn't help you at all. It just gave you more money in most regards, right? Because you were able to sell shit and do stuff like that. Alchemist Maze, I think, is where it is. So it just gave you more money to build other stuff, right? While in this, crafting actually benefits me greatly, right? Because it gives me access to weapons. I've been keeping up with my crafting for the first time in an MMO, and it actually gives me access to weapons that I normally wouldn't necessarily have access to. I'm totally going the wrong way. Where the hell is this? I'm lost. I'm lost. Oh god. I just need to find stupid thingy. Oh wait, I know where I can find it. It's over here. Ah, God, I went the wrong way. Um, but yeah, so you can level up doing crafting. That's pretty much what I wanted to say. So it's actually useful to do it. It's fun to do
Yeah,
it, and it's
that's
not
cool
silly.
that it contributes to your total level.
Yep. And this game really has that design aspect in pretty much everything. I mean, you can. Is it in here? No, it's not. I saw the little hammer, so I thought I got lucky. But doing pretty much anything contributes to your overall level. Just killing mobs, obviously. PvP is actually by far the fastest way to level. Early levels, at least, I find that as players get better and better and better, it becomes harder. Because I got to from like level 6 to 15 in like a day, and it's taken me so long to get. Pretty much, I'm leveling up at like a rate of 1 a day afterwards, right? Which is kind of lame, but hey, it's an MMO. I'm still having fun. I can show you some PvP after this too, so we can just kind of jump right into some crazy combat. But the crafting is actually really cool, and I finally figured out where the hell I'm going. Let's see what I can make.
These weapons are all, you can use them or you can sell them on like the marketplace or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
assuming.
Exactly. So it's pretty much the same as any MMO in that regard.
Mhm.
Uh, but there's this really
Standard
cool
stuff.
aspect to it in terms of let's make a greatsword because I can use those, and this one will actually make me do more damage later. So what you do in this game, which is pretty cool, is you have a bunch of this is the crafting screen right here. And so every single time I want to craft something, I have to add a power core. This is also sorry, specific to weapons. I mean, I'm sure you'll get the screen with many other crafting things, but I don't know if you need like power cores or whatever. And then I get
Might
to
need different
add
items, you know.
exactly. So then I get these different chips, right? So I'm gonna add brutality and moxie to this weapon, right? So this power core added this energy bar at the bottom here, right? And what I can do is I can then kind of play this game of I'll upgrade this 11 times, I'll upgrade that 15 times, upgrade this a little bit more. And now you can see I've maxed out the power. But you can play a really
Mhm.
fun game of I can upgrade it more, but then I get a percentage chance to fail every single time I upgrade it, right? So you can kind of play this you play a game of chance with all this stuff, right? Which is kind of cool. Definitely different from most other MMOs I played. I can't remember any other MMO that has this. Do you know if Final Fantasy has this at all? I never really got into crafting in that game.
Sort of, it's different.
Yep. And then
We can
yeah,
talk about this one.
I've just
That's cool.
crafted that and woo done. Um, yeah, so those are kind of all the basic ideas of that. In terms of talent points and stuff for an MMO, so every single ability that I have, I also get these ability points. So every single ability can be upgraded a bunch of times, right? And the upgrades, increase damage. There's also different tiers. So at tier 4, it actually changes the ability up. At tier 8, it changes it up again. So as
Hmm.
much as me and another person could be using the same abilities, they could, act totally differently, right? Which is kind of cool. And then I also have amps. This is kind of your talent point area, right? So amps do really weird things. Most of the time, these lower level ones are just going to, increase critical hit damage, give me life steal. But then when you get up to the second circle, you start getting into really cool things like, every single time I land a critical hit, I get empower, which is I think just gives me extra brutality, which makes me deal more damage and stuff, right?
Hmm.
And when you get up to the third tier, it turns into things like I unlock a new ability, or landing direct hits grant 50% chance to apply expose, which reduces armor, I believe. Like these, it starts to get pretty ridiculous, right? So you can see how these
So
also
it's very customizable.
yeah,
Yeah.
one class does not necessarily mean that if I'm playing the same class as you, we're probably not playing a similar class at all, right? Which I really enjoy because it creates a lot of room for, build options and really cool gameplay experiences, right? Um, Let me think. It's got titles like normal. I'm Lieutenant Fuzzy Boots, certifiably certified. This game's also hilarious, by the way. Any of the
Yeah, I
cutscenes
like
and
the art
stuff.
style too. It's
Yeah,
like it's like being in your favorite Saturday morning space cartoon.
yeah. A lot of people complain about the art style being a little bit too cartoony, but once you get into game, it actually doesn't really feel like that. I mean, yes, it's cartoony, but I mean, so is WoW, and
But like that's the I don't know why that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. And I think it
exactly.
looks awesome.
Um, oh, one other really cool thing about the stats. So the stats are all named something weird, so it takes a little bit to figure out what they are. But can you see these little points here? Like,
Yeah, these little.
so these are, I think, milestones. So if I hit this milestone, so if I get 180 brutality, it automatically just increases my assault power by 15, right? And then if I hit here, it increases it by another, and it just keeps on increasing and increasing. And I'm assuming it gets more and more power, right? Because I've got these different ranks with finesse and stuff like that. Right, so
Mhm.
that's actually kind of cool. So you can, there's a lot more min-maxing potential there, where you can just break the barrier for a milestone and then completely focus in on something else, which I like. I like a lot. So here, oh, oops, I will. I'll jump into a quick. I have mail. Oh. I'll jump into a quick PvP game just to kind of show you
Yeah.
what it looks like. Oh, let's do this one because it's a bitch. So it'll take about 57 seconds for us to get there. Any other questions about the game? Anything else you want to know?
No, it
Um,
seems like a pretty yeah, like the I don't know, the drapings are pretty standard MMO stuff, but some of the core is very different, but
mhm.
like good fun different.
I've I've actually found so one of the things that I find really interesting about this game is I've definitely caught myself um, killing stuff for no reason. Right, like I'll be running around a questing area killing things, and then all of a sudden, like I'm killing stuff. There's no quest that I have to do, no reason that I'm doing it other than it's just fun. Right?
Hmm.
Because sometimes it's actually it does get turned into that kind of a game where the combat is just interesting. I don't know if it's interesting because it's an MMO or if it's interesting because it's actually fun, but I think I'm leaning towards that second one.
Yeah,
Uh,
because a lot of MMOs they'll sort of have a design philosophy based around like how can we sort of pad like time so that they have to stay subscribed longer, and those are kind of the ones that sort of fail. But
yeah.
this one seems to be how can we make this game just more fun,
Hmm.
which is awesome.
And it even this what the fuck's it called system? This is blue stuff. Actually creates a really interesting dynamic when even if you're doing raids. So I haven't done a raid yet, but I've done a decent amount of PvP, and because in WoW, I'm gonna reference WoW a lot in this. I know I already have a ton, but it's a game that I put 5 years into, and I'm gonna talk about it a lot. Period. Um, but when you're in WoW and you're healing, it's very much a lot of people explain healing in WoW as a whack-a-mole game, right? Because you generally just you have your party over here on the side, and when their health gets low, you click on it and you fill the health up, and then you keep on doing that, right? Like
Yeah.
it's very much just keep the guys alive, stay out of the fires, not really doing much. Um, while in this, there's actually this really cool idea where even the healing abilities use the
The
like
aiming, the
yeah
targeting system.
the targeting system, right? So when you're facing a boss or a big mob or anything that's somewhat scary, in WoW it would just be all right. I'm a DPS. I run into it. I sit in its asshole and I hit it with my big sword, right?
Mm.
Like nothing about it. Dodge the fire. That's fine. In this, it now turns into I have to sit and dodge the big boss's telegraphs. That's what they're called, telegraphs. I have to sit and dodge the boss's telegraphs, and also I have to make sure to stay in the healer's green telegraphs, right? Because if I run off into the middle of nowhere, right? See how the healer
Yeah.
specifically green. Um, if I run off into the middle of nowhere, is it really my fault that I die, right? Because I mean, he only has a certain range. I know that. I need to stay within his area to to live, right? So it creates this kind of cool because in WoW, whenever a party was wiped, it very much became a, you know, oh, we wiped, tank's fault, healer's fault. Like no question about it, one of those two. Very very rarely was it the DPS's fault. I mean, it sometimes was, but not so much. In this, it's, if you die, it's probably about 50% your fault because you could have been staying closer to the healer. You could have been staying, farther away from enemy telegraphs, right? Which is, I like that. I like that idea of kind of putting the onus up on both sets of players.
Mhm.
Um,
So
now,
then
sorry.
we're in PvP now. So
Yes.
what's the goal? Is this like a deathmatch kind of thing, or is there like objective?
Yeah, so what this is there's a Crucible of Blood, the Chamber of the Great Dark, and the Court of Judges. I think, what am I doing? I'm attacking. Ha. So there's these three areas right here, right? So there's one, two, and then the mid. We have to
Hmm.
basically try and hold the mid as long as possible. Um, and if somebody captures the side areas, it just means that we will actually take over mid faster, right? So the main area that we want to stay in is mid, and then everything else is just kind of making things go. Oh God.
It's hard to play games and talk.
Yeah, this is also so one of the things about especially the bigger matches is that this is really just kind of a clusterfuck. Um, it really is. I can't say no to that. To people who
Mhm.
are watching, if you think that, you're pretty much right. Uh,
So are there like smaller team like
yeah,
match type game types?
the PvP actually goes all the way down to 2v2, which
Mm.
is kind of ridiculous. I'm gonna see if I can take this guy out. Urgh. He's probably.
Wow. And what's the well? How many people are in here?
I think this is like I don't know how
It
many
looks
people.
like
Yeah, we got about 10 people on our team, a little bit more, a little bit less, something like that. Oh God, oh, there's too many people.
yeah, I think it's 10v10.
Ah! Yeah, I suck at PvP, by the way. Like I'm really bad. Granted, I did just hold like 5 guys back, but still, not good, not good at all. Um,
Well, the more you die, the more clarity of conversation we have.
exactly,
So
exactly. So I mean, this works
it's a
perfectly.
win-win. It's a win-win situation.
Um, to our viewers, if you have any suggestions for something like this, please let us know. Just as a little disclaimer, this is something new we're trying. Don't be mad. Oh God, I'm just hitting buttons. Ha, knocked down. Yeah, I don't know.
So then you win when you hold it for a certain amount of time, or
There's this. Oh wow, we really gotta go and take the side areas. I'm gonna go do that now. Ugh. Using abilities for. We already have this one, don't we? Yeah, this is totally. Wait, no, I'm an idiot. We already captured this. Herder. We captured the first one. I'm supposed to be moving to the next one. Oh God, I'm the greatest. Oh no.
getting shot.
All
You
right.
cannot do that yet. So then, so you can do. You said like down to 2v2. Is there like a
Yes.
number you prefer?
So I've never really been a big PvP guy anyways.
Yeah.
I bought this game more so to do the PvE, which is what really interests me.
Mhm.
Um, the PvE I've heard is really good because with the idea of telegraphs and the healer having to actually be within range, I've heard the PvE kind of explained to me as like a dance, right? Where you're constantly just kind of trying to dance around stuff that's going on, and not dying and staying in the green telegraphs, right? But I have a feeling that the most competitive PvP modes. Wow, we already took number 3 as well. All right, I don't know what's going on.
It's because you're carrying this game.
Oh, totally, totally. Where am I? Oh yeah, I'm all the way down here. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Jesus said that the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So
We're gonna.
Use
Are we
wise.
really gonna pull that out? What's going on? Where am I supposed to be? Damn it.
So yeah, so
Ugh.
very competitive PvP. What you're saying?
Yeah, so the 2v2 PvP, I have a feeling is going to be the most competitive, right? Because then you're
Hmm.
sitting down, you have one person to talk to, and in WoW, I I went the wrong way.
That seems to be the theme of this game.
Yep,
Evan's going in the wrong way.
yep. This I'm a fucking genius. Um, but so in WoW, 3v3 PvP was by far the most popular in terms of
Hmm.
competitive, because the game turned into, you have to communicate properly with your teammates so that you can push properly and attack when needed, and you could sync your abilities, which I definitely think will be the same with this, right? Where 2v2 definitely seems to have the same kind of overall mechanics as that, right? Oh, I wanted
It
to.
might be even more so with all the targeting,
Yeah,
the
exactly. Oh.
self-targeting you have to do.
Well, nobody else is there. That was just me, which is fine. That's fine. But yeah, so the one problem that I've heard about the 2v2 right now is because you only have 8 abilities. Um, I could say design all of my abilities to be really good versus a melee character, and then in 2v2 I end up against two ranged characters or something
Hmm.
like that, right? Which is kind of odd. Oh no, I think we just won. Yeah, we just won. Now we're defending.
Yay!
Woo! Which is very kind of bad, right? Because it means that a lot of games are going to be decided out of the gate, right? Because since I only have 8 abilities, if I spend, for example, I have an ability that's a leash, right? So I put a stake in the ground, and if somebody runs into it, they can't run away from it, right? So if I use leash as one of my abilities, but then the
Hmm.
two enemies that I'm facing are melee characters, well, I've completely wasted an ability now, right? Because they're always going to be sitting beside me, attacking me anyways. Where I could use that ability to maybe, do more damage or negate healing or something.
Yeah.
One thing that I've heard a lot of people complain about, and I think I would not be surprised if it's added soon, is kind of like a lobby thing, right? Where now you're just out in the world, and then it finds you a person, and you click OK, and you go
Yeah.
into battle. I have a feeling that what they'll probably implement is some sort of lobby where, you enter in the lobby, and then oh, I'm going to play against a gunslinger and a stalker or something, right? And because that'll at least let me know, hey, I'm playing against a melee and a ranged. I don't know what style they're going to be playing, but I at least know what abilities I can kind of take into battle. Um, I guess that's another thing I should talk about is the classes, right? Different classes, different the overall world and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
So
Dominion.
what?
Sorry,
What are you?
I
Start with you.
fuck. That's a great question. I am. I don't remember what I am. I'm an exile, which is the good guys, as far as I remember. There's the Exiles and the Dominion. So the game is based on the planet Nexus, right? And Nexus is so if I just go like this, whee, Nexus. Oh god, that was dumb. That was dumb to do in mid
That was
PvP.
probably down.
So Nexus is a new planet, I believe, that a bunch of people have been trying to find. And Dominion is, the big evil corporation that's trying to mine Nexus for resources and take over the world, while the Exiles just kind of want to use it for their own personal uses and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. So there's your horde and your alliance.
Your
Ye-
dire ingredient.
yes, exactly. Your
Blue team, red team.
this guy thinks he's gonna hang back, eh? Whee! Alright, he's just gonna
And then
stand
what are
there.
the different classes? So what class are you?
I
Like you
am
got a
a
sword.
warrior.
All right.
So there is warrior, spellslinger, gunslinger. Sorry, spellslinger is gunslinger. Spellslinger, esper, and stalker and engineer. I said that in the worst way possible. I just killed the guy who was standing still, and then they killed me. So yeah, sorry. Let me repeat that. Warrior, Stalker, Spellslinger, Esper, and Engineer. Right, your warrior is, your basic warrior, big two-handed sword, beat people in face, tank and DPS. Your stalker
Mm-hmm.
is your rogue class. Your gunslinger is your range DPS, so kind of like your hunters and stuff like that. Your esper is your basic mage, and then your engineer is a dude who has like little bots and shit that run around with him and deal extra damage.
Is that the pet class? I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
yeah. So that's all of that. Yeah, I just knocked a ton of them down. Oh wow, I actually just got like 3 people. Probably like 2. I doubt it's even that good. Um, but
I like how you just said. I think I killed 3 people. Probably no, probably
no,
not.
I just died. Um, but yeah, so those are all the classes, kind of your basic classes. I was playing Stalker previously, but I found it to be kind of underpowered, especially in PvP, which was kind of depressing. So I jumped over to Warrior.
So actually, that's a good question. Can you switch classes really easily in this game, or do you have to start a whole new character?
You have to start a whole new character.
Mm.
This is
So
not
you
Final
pick
Fantasy.
one. So you pick one class, and that's your class for the thing.
Yes,
That's,
that's
oh.
it. This is Final Fantasy is pretty much the only MMO that I've ever heard of that has the
Mhm.
class system where it doesn't really matter what you're. I'm just gonna chase this guy down. Yeah.
Smack him in the face.
Woo! Yeah.
Mm.
Um.
Is there so? Is there
Yeah. Sorry.
like is there sort of like a class upgrade? I know a lot of MMOs have like you start with your basic class and then like at level 15, 30 you sort of upgrade it to a special
No,
one.
no. I think because right now, no, not even that I can think of even slightly. Because I mean, in WoW, every single class got an armor upgrade, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so a class would, rogues might be equipping cloth armor for the first forever, and then they go on to equip heavy armor once I hit like level 40 or something. And there's not even that, because as of right now, I can equip heavy armor, and I don't think there's one that's heavier than it. Um,
Super heavy.
I don't know. I guess that's another good question. So you've been playing Final Fantasy
Mm-hmm.
14 recently. What do you think about this in comparison to that, based on what you've seen?
Well, like the class thing.
Well, even just the general game, like is I know that you were interested in this game when it initially came out, but then you kind of got back into
Yeah,
Final
just a bit out of
Fantasy. Yeah.
time issues. But yeah, it seems I don't know. It seems like a really good game. It seems like something that yeah, like you said, is just geared towards having fun. Whether you're playing by yourself and you just want to kill things, not even chase quests, just have fun fighting, or if you want to, I don't know, get together with a group of friends and try and be a little competitive in PvP. Like, it seems like a game that is
Well designed for both.
not even just not just well designed. It's just the people who made this game really loved it and they wanted it to be as fun and
Hmm.
as good as they could get it. So it almost seems like a love child just from the way everything animates and it
Yeah, and it's
looks,
it's also it's
the
incredibly
dialogue.
yeah, it's also incredibly surprising how much this game has even in the get-go. I think we're just about to win. Oh, you're gonna no. Oh god, some guy's gonna shoot me. Fuck you. Yeah, okay. It's almost even surprising to me how much content this game has even to begin with. Um, because this game came out with more than enough content from level 1 to 50, right? And I think even before the first month was up, they already came out with the first, kind of pseudo expansion where it was, like here's an extra area with an extra storyline, a raid or two. It was called The Strain,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty cool. Really surprising. Because from most MMOs, I don't expect that at all. I kind of expect you know, a yearly content cycle with maybe a couple patches here and there, right?
Yeah, it's usually a couple months before the first big patch.
Yeah, absolutely.
or they all paid expansions. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it's good. Yeah, like it seems like this is a love child for the people, and
Mhm.
that already is like a huge, not red flag, opposite of a red flag, good
Yeah.
flag.
Yeah, it's I'm loving it so far. I don't think I'm gonna switch for anything else that I've played before. I think
Mhm.
I'm sold on this as of right now. I see the depth here. I see the end game here. Um, I mean, as much as I played Star Wars: The Old Republic. I played Guild Wars 2. Those games, when I started playing them, Star Wars felt really good when you started, but once you got to the end, there was no content. This really
Mhm.
feels different. It feels like there's a lot of content here. It feels like they know what they're doing. Yes, it's the beginning of an MMO. They're going to need to fix little things here and there, but I'm incredibly excited for this game's future. Um, yeah, it's going to take a lot for Warlords of Draymore to take me back, the next WoW expansion. Um,
Mhm.
which is I think that's definitely worth something, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this sounds like a game that if you were really into MMOs, you might want to check out just because it's kind of a breath of fresh air. Or if you've never played an MMO before, like it's not as super intimidating. Like you gotta learn all the builds and stuff. You can just run around and hit stuff.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I would definitely suggest this game for anybody. It's when I mean I think I just almost said this, but on the surface it's very cutesy, it's very fun, it's very happy to play, but it's incredibly deep if you want to put the time in. I
Yeah.
mean, even just the crafting system, I can see like ridiculous, like, oh, you have this recipe, but you didn't build it with this core and with these, traits, and I increased it like this, which gave me the best, ratio of power. I don't, like I can see this game getting ridiculous.
Hmm.
And there's so much content already. There's even personal instances right now where I'll just run up to a quest giver and he'll say, "Hey, jump in this spaceship. We're gonna go to the moon or something and fight a bunch of aliens." And then I'll spend, an hour going and doing that. Um, Sometimes doing completely separate things. Like there was this one where I got like a bulldozer and I had to, bulldoze over a ton of shit in front of me, and it's just got a lot of stuff like that, and I'm loving it so far. Um,
That's good. That's good.
yeah. Other than that, I don't really have much else to say.
Seems like we
Yes.
covered all the basics, so that's good.
Yeah.
So check
So
it out,
yeah,
people.
everybody on the internet, check it out.
At the very least, check out their trailers because they're really funny. They're
Yes.
hilarious.
Um,
This game is very funny.
this game is a friend of mine kind of went like, "Hey, it seems like Ratchet and Clank the MMO." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes, that is very much the
That's
way that
actually
this
a
game
perfect
feels.
description.
It just feels like Ratchet and Clank. It feels like Sly Cooper, which also makes me really happy. I don't
Mhm.
know, play it. If not, then I don't know. If you like MMOs, try this. If you don't like MMOs, try it anyways because it's awesome. All right, I guess that's our
All right.
first. I don't know what we're gonna call these. I guess.
Casual look, maybe we'll work on that.
Yeah, a casual look. Something. Maybe whatever this was. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Um, and see you on the podcast, internet.
Yeah. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.